I mean, in the sorry attempt to hope that people can stop being so backward and retarded, banding out assumptions that other countries don't use armed police. America uses them. Only America uses them. The UK does use armed police, but not all the police you meet in the UK are generally armed. We do have what would be equivalent of SWAT. What does SWAT stand for, though? What does it stand for? We'll get to that. It's important to understand what it stands for because in America, your general policeman is not capable of SWAT skills. Um, and you're generally capable of your regular police person can be used to go and see if there's a disturbance or if there's anything serious about a disturbance that's been reported at a particular location. Intention to have a SWAT team would require a SWAT team arrive, but if the team that arrives is just your regular police, it doesn't doesn't really advertise that there's any intention, but most people are never going to know who made the call for the police visit in the first place. But we see this bullshit going around the internet of people shouting, "Oh, they tried to SWAT me." Special Weapons and Tactics is what SWAT stands for. That means you got training to use a specialized set of weapons and training for the tactics. UK equivalent of SWAT is trained in abseiling, trained to use weapons, armed as an armed police. It is part of the police. AFO would be armed firearms officer. SFO would be special firearms officer. But you know, shit for brains goes, "Oh, they don't use weapons in Canada." Oh, they do. Oh, it's the UK that don't use. Yeah, they do. So you're wrong on both accounts. Open your brain before you open your mouth, so that when you open your mouth, shit doesn't just pour out. You can curate and understand if you use a little bit of higher thinking and the power of the internet just to tap away and actually find out credible sources on the internet. Credible sources. AFO in the UK is Authorised Firearms Officer. Excuse me, SFO would be Special Firearms Officer. Excuse me. So, let me talk to you about AFO. So, as the Met Office or the Met Police.uk report AFOs, and there's been some changes, I think, since I last really bothered to educate myself on what's going on with my own country and the police force. And you'll hear like MO19 is be one of the third parties that are like an organization to train SFO individuals. That would be Specialist Firearms Command, MO19. Look them up, MO19 Specialist Firearms Command, and you'll get to know a little bit about what goes on in the UK with firearms. So, most police officers in the UK do not routinely carry firearms. But where firearms support is needed, it is carried out specially. That's what I'm reading to you from metpolice.uk, and I'll put the link below in case you think I'm bullshitting. Unlike a certain Erin, I open my mind before I open my mouth, or at least I like to think I do that on a try to do that habitually. Make a habit of doing that rather than just click live because I'm pissed. So it is carried out by specially trained. See, that's that word, special. Special skills. This is what SWAT doesn't mean, oh, you've been visited by the police. You know, if somebody makes a hoax call about something going on at a particular location you're visited by the police, that's not what SWAT means. SWAT is special weapons. Okay? SWAT, special weapons and tactics. So it would be a team visiting a particular location who are trained to use specialized weapons and trained to use specialized tactics. Some of those tactics are things like abseiling and trained in a way in a specific ways of entering a building or location without knocking, by the way. You don't abruptly, or even your regular knock, where it's loud or quiet knock. So ergo, if you're visited by the police, if there was a hoax call intending for SWAT, you're probably going to get SWAT. Which means you're going to get visited by the special weapons and tactics team, not your regular police. Can you connect those brain cells together, or that information with brain cells in your head, or will you just deny, like people like who I'm thinking of would normally deny that I'm not wrong, I couldn't be wrong, and it just see the IQ dropping every time the mouth moves with certain individuals like this. So again, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what's in front of me. In the Met Firearm Support, it is primarily provided by MO19, who are Specialist Firearms Command. There are also firearms officers in a number of other units, such as Aviation Policing, Royalty and Specialist Protection Command, and the Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Command. There are multiple levels of armed officers. You know, it's trying to educate, you don't have weapons in Canada, armed police in Canada. Yeah, you do. So don't call people privileged if they don't understand what an armed police person is. However, yeah, maybe you're privileged that not all police are armed. I'll say something else about police in the UK, at least from my observation. You're never ever going to see a morbidly obese copper in the UK, because there's a standard and medical examination, as well as the standards and all that. If your health is below a particular standard, you do not get employed as a police officer, let alone become a SFO or an AFO. Again, SFO would be Special Firearms Officer, and AFO would be Authorized Firearms Officer. There are multiple levels of armed officers. They undergo selection and training to become firearms officers. Skipping over this again, I'll put a link below. Their initial and continued training is dependent on the role they're operationally required to perform. All training is governed by the College of Policing National Police Firearms Training Curriculum, otherwise known as the NPFTC. The curriculum is tandem with the Met's Chief Firearms Instructor. This is so that everyone knows what they're doing with each compartment of your training with the police force, as it should be. Ensures that the relevant training modules are completed by all officers within a specific role profile. Sometimes when you see a regular officer, or most regular officers, you're going to see in a small town, big town, whatever, coming and going. They're not going to have firearms, but they're going to have maybe some crowd control tools. They're going to have a baton, truncheon, whatever. They're going to have a taser and a number of other things. And they're going to be trained to know how to control other people physically. They're going to be trained with a vehicle, high-speed chase training. And again, some police officers are morbidly obese in the United States. They can barely tie their shoelace. So it ain't going to be no good running after a criminal down a narrow alleyway or whatever. She's... I mean, it just looks pathetic to have... if that would look in the UK, if you saw a police officer like that, you'd start to wonder... You're just a fat guy wearing a uniform. You're not an actual police officer. You'll get done for impersonation, probably. Because there's no way a police force would accept such a unhealthy profile. Of course, you're going to get some soft, pussified weirdos over the internet going, oh, he's fat shaming. Right? I mean, that's a level of intellect that we're dealing with here. So... here are some examples of what an authorized firearms officer duties could include in relation to how they do it in the UK. Responding to high-risk incidents. I wouldn't call just a local disturbance that high risk. It will require attention. It's not high risk. Taking part in proactive policing operations where intelligence suggests firearm support may be required. Right, okay, fair enough. Providing public reassurance at events. Providing enhanced and ballistic medical aid to help save lives. Working closely with partners including the military. Even though our armed officers attend thousands of incidents every year, their advanced levels of training in conflict resolution and de-escalation means that it is incredibly rare for an officer to have to discharge their firearm in order to achieve their policing aim. Yeah, because, we've got standards, and the people skills standards is certainly one thing as well. Like a police officer, if you're an armed police officer and you're trying to talk to a individual to get them to cooperate, calm down, whatever, and if you've got dark shades on, sunglasses on, can't see your eyes properly, that's not going to help. Take them off, you don't look cool. If you take them off, make eye contact, use the right kind of body language to calm them down, actually, because it works both ways. Observing body language and using cues to get a person to be a bit more relaxed and opening up and being more cooperative, right? That happens, and police are very well trained in this. Human behavior, right? Well, should be as part of a standard, at least in the UK I know of. All firearms officers are trained to access intelligence and threat assessments. They are accountable for any ballistic rounds they may discharge, meaning that they have to report why they fired the weapon, why they had to. After the event, they need a full report on this. And there can be equipment being used that can record the event, that are situated on the officers as well to help with the report. They may discharge in order to minimize any risk to the public. So there we go. SWAT, Special Weapons and tactics. Training, which you don't really get for your average police officer. You know, there's weapons that the average citizen might think special, that the average policeman might be, or policewoman might be using, but then it's not a firearm. But it'd be they could have like tools like tasers. Yeah, they have weapons, right? So this, this keeps going around. It's like the UK are not armed. They don't use guns in the UK. How the hell can you police at all? We police where it's needed. The level of skill per policeman is applied per location and situation and event. That saves money, by the way, and resources if you do it that way. Saves money and resources if you employ somebody who's healthy enough to be employed as well, for such skills, right? So in Canada, they will use like a Walther P99. These are like small pistols. Smith and Wesson, sorry, model 5906. The Glock series is actually the Glock 17 pistols are used in the UK as well, among certain police officers, as well as the Canada. Canada don't have armed police, though, do they? Oh, they do. UK, so UK don't have armed. Yes, they do, but it's applied where it's needed. I've already said this, just to bring it home a little bit, because there's too many people on the internet that's when they open their mouth, shit comes flowing out. Open your mind before you open your mouth, and educate yourself before you click live and rant like a weak-minded baby. Just whatever. I just try to look for a metaphor. It's so weak and pathetic. Yeah. Apparently, Steve McRae got swatted. No, you didn't. Again, SWAT is not somebody calling up a hoax call and saying there's a disturbance and you're getting visited by the police. SWAT is being visited by Special Weapons and Tactics Group who are trained to do things in line with the acronym. They're trained to use specialized weapons, not your regular standard issue. And they're trained to use very, very specialized tactics. These tactics, if required in a group, a SWAT team, do not require the team to knock first and ask questions. They require the location to be infiltrated as soon as possible. Duh. Wow. Yeah. So, authorised firearms officer in UK is a British police officer who is authorised and trained to carry and use firearms. The designation is significant because most police officers in the United Kingdom do not routinely carry firearms. That much is true. And again, I'll repeat, the designation is significant because most officers in the the United Kingdom, do not routinely carry firearms. Those in the United States do routinely carry firearms, but you know what they don't routinely come and go as a SWAT team. That's designated to specialized individuals trained. Now, some police officers have a dual role, that they may be a community officer which wouldn't require you to have firearms, but they may be called up because they got the training to use a firearm in certain situations as well. So they could be a AFO or a SFO, which is Specialized Firearms Officer, and the Specialized Firearms Officer is more like your SWAT team, how the acronym is used in America, the SWAT. Much more skilled than AFO would be Authorized Firearms Officer, right? So here's a image. I want to bring a image in of an individual. I can bring that over. Bear with me a second. Hide. Show. I mean, fuck's sake. Aaron, you're dumb as fuck. And you really are willfully dumb. But you know this. You know this. And you'd rather just bullshit your way to pull the strings, to get the drama going. Yeah. I mean, crazy, cuckoo. Listen, take your meds in the morning and things might pan out a bit better. So, yeah, if I drag this image into OBS, then it might be easier to do it that way. And then transition this over. Here's a police officer in the UK who's armed. But we don't have armed police in the UK. Yeah, we do. There's one of them. I'm not sure where this is or whatever. It may be on the article that this is on. I would just want to... Please. This is somewhere in London, actually, which is common for London officers with certain events and things going on in London. You're going to see this happen more in London than you are elsewhere across the UK. And guess what? The UK is not just London, and London is in England, which isn't just the UK. England is part of the UK. I know it's difficult for you, but you know. So here's a North Wales armed officer with a Gotch G36C rifle during UK general election in June 2017. Yeah, that happened. There's not that one. Sorry, that's the one I just showed you. This is a different one. And they're not just issued these. I mean, of course, officers, you kind of expect officers in the United States to be trained to use their weapon, but these are designated individuals who have a designated trainers to train just these police individuals, just these individuals, not every police person coming across. You'll see with the... You see on the person's arm, we have a white background and a green background over something red. That's the Welsh flag right there, in case you didn't know the Welsh flag. Wales, in the UK, has a flag called the Welsh flag. Welsh is the language of Wales, although I don't speak it. Primarily, most places in Wales you're going to hear English as a first language. Anyway, very far North Wales, you're going to hear bilingual quite a lot. You're going to hear Welsh being spoken as well as English. This on the cap he's wearing is police in Welsh, and then is police in English. Okay? And yeah, is a man very well built. Again, not a morbidly obese copper that you might find in the United States. I'm not saying they all are, but you wouldn't. It would never happen because there's a standard of you go through a medical procedure, this and that. If you get a number of things, medical test every 6 months or so, whatever. If it drops below a standard, they're going to probably downgrade you or even fire you. So you're not healthy enough to be a police officer. That happens. It does happen. Yeah. So you got a female armed officer next to her and male armed officer. So yeah, that happens. That's what goes on. I was looking at a page for. You want to look for the skills. UK Police, the Special Weapons Officer in yeah, let me have a look. There was a page on that. I've forgotten where it was. I did search for it first. And Aaron, you got the internet in front of you. You're too lazy to look these things up from credible sources. And you just look like you're too dumb to know what a credible source is anyway. You just is it United States internet that bad? Special firearms officer, actually, it's referred to. Specialist firearms officer. There we go. So this is the training of a special weapons. A special firearms officer, because it's the United States that use special weapons and tactics, always known as SWAT, but the equivalent of SWAT in the UK or SWAT for the United States is the SFO. And the skills are safe use of specialist firearms, not your regular issue, and highly trained in methods of entry techniques to gain access to premises quickly. That means they don't knock, and neither does the SWAT teams in the United States. It's the same kind of thing. Abseiling and fast rope skills. They're trained in abseiling and fast rope skills. Scenario training. So in training, they're given scenarios as part of their training. So one such scenario would be such as being instructed to search a specially adapted training area of an aircraft. Use of tear gas and stun grenades. Yeah, that's a thing. Hostage rescue and handling techniques. Computer simulated war games of potential threats such as terrorist attacks. The use of protective clothing against CBRN attack. If you want to know what CBRN is, that should be chemical. Let's have a look. Chemical something. Yeah, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear defense, or NBC protection. This is protective measures taken in situations in which chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear hazards may be present. Whatever. But a certain Aaron is too dumb to even consider what all this is about. Instead, they blurt out Well, I think the intention of the call was sort of swap. Well, you just pull that out of your ass. Nobody knows who made the call for a certain Steve McRae to be visited about a noise disturbance. Now, in your brain, if you're capable, Aaron, picture police visiting about a noise disturbance. And then picture a SWAT team. Again, a SWAT team is not some team that's been called to visit a place about a noise disturbance. That's not what they're for. A SWAT team is somebody who's had a very serious call, probably about maybe it's a terrorist issue or a bomb issue. So several people's lives guaranteed to be at risk or whatever. This is why it's special. I know, Aaron, I know you're a special case. Well, special in this case means special skills training. Special weapons, so specialized weapons. They're going to have not your regular issue. And special tactics. SWAT, special weapons and tactics training. I probably didn't get through. Aaron's too dumb for this. Peace out, everyone. And Aaron, you're so pathetic. You just don't know what to say. I got a tiny bit away through your video, talking about Cheshire's video, and my God, you're dumb. You're willfully ignorant and dumb. I think you know that. You're about as dumb as Unirock, because all he did was open his mouth before he opened his mind, trying to look intelligent, and then a damage control. He wriggled room to try and look intelligent, and ruin it again when they realise, they just put the foot in it again, and repeats. It just rolls down the hill like that, and the momentum is phenomenal. You just, again, I keep crawling up Steve's ass because, hope it works out for you, because you're just going to disappear like you're going to be on a missing persons list the further you go up Steve's ass, because you're just going to disappear up there, right? Wow, just wow, Unbelievable was the weakness of your video, your live show. How weak! There's no brain matter being used here. Cheshire Vic on the other hand, yeah. I mean, do you feel bad that she's just by default Cheshire doesn't even have to try to be way smarter than you, because nobody needs to try, though, which is just some of the things you come across is almost like when you go, whoa, you seem to know a lot, and didn't want to equate it to Cheshire, wanted to somehow equate it to a Discord, though that may have been told things in a Discord, how things work, because, Cheshire couldn't be that intelligent, right? Or maybe Goblin IQ points equaling 62 are just concentrated points. Add a bit of water and they split up and double up, I guess. I mean, fuck's sake, Aaron, you really are pathetic. You're a joke. A weak fart in a fan factory quickly dissipated. There's no power to your bullshit that you spewed out. Peace out, other people who like to occasionally watch my videos here and there. Cheers. Bye.